Hi, and welcome to Chapter 1 of Quality Assurance. In this chapter, I will be talking about the basic of quality. Now, let me ask you this question. Why quality is important? Quality important because it will help organization to achieve excellence in service and not only service in manufacturing as well. So what we are going to talk about it here in this class, how companies would achieve excellence in the market. And by that, we by that, these organizations will achieve a better a better place in the market. So again, quality is important because it helps organization to achieve excellence and develop its ability to consistently provide superior value to customers over the long term. So let's take a look into this answer. You will see that a superior value, we did not say a superior cost, we did not say a superior reliability, it's superior value and could be combination between different factors. And also we did say customers as well. So eventually these organizations, they need quality for customers to serve the customers. So this is the goal of any organization, whether manufacturing or service. Their goal is to serve their customers. And the last part of this answer is the long term. We need to have a long term goals of achieving excellence. We're not looking into just a short period of a month or two or three to achieve excellence. We need to continue providing excellent service, excellent product for the next 5, 10 years, 100 years. Superior value has three elements: superior quality, superior cost, and superior service. As I mentioned, superior value does not only has one component. It could be a combination between these three or more, could be more than these three elements: quality, cost, and service. Companies are always seeking an edge, something special that will set them apart from competitions, from competition, for the competition. What I was saying here, and I did started this earlier, saying quality is important for competition, and we need companies to provide an excellent service or excellent product, because there are so many competitors in the market these days. With the advanced technology that we have, everyone can produce or could provide a service. Now think about what's the things that distinguish you as a product, as a company, as a manufacturing company, as a somebody who's providing service from other competitors. We need to look into special characteristic that will set these companies apart from competitions. Finding an edge isn't that easy. It's really sometimes you think that you're doing good job providing a high quality and high reliability with an acceptable price, but you find yourself out of the market for some reason. We have to find that edge that will help you, that will keep you in the market, that will keep you competing, that will set you apart from your competitors. So we need to look into what features so we should include in our products and service. Customers have so many choices these days. And what we need to do as a service provider is we need to impress these customers. We need to make sure that they're excited to come to us. And not only once, we're looking to repeat the service for them. We need them to come back to buy again from us. We need to have a good reputation in the market where customers tell everyone that we we go to this XYZ company. Globalization and outsourcing, these are also some factors that make organization difficult to compete. We're not competing with the local neighborhood these days. We're competing with the global, international. And outsourcing is another factor that will should we should consider in designing our product and service. These are uh, making managing the quality cost even more crucial to organizations to succeed. Look at this quote that I like. It's an anonymous quote from an anonymous person. I truly believe that quality is remembered long after the price has been forgotten. Now, we as a customers, sometimes we buy stuff and the quality defined as the what did you remember from your experience? Like once you finish this class, you will remember what you gained from this class. This is what I called quality. This is what I called quality because you will keep remembering these knowledge and skills and you will take it with you. Again, the quality is remembered long after the price has been forgotten. So you're not going to look into the how much each course cost you here in the university, but you will look into the value, the long-term value. You will forget about the price and the expenses and so on, but you will look into the value of education that you received. And this is what we call it quality. Now let's take a look into the personal definitions of quality. There are so many definitions of quality. And some people they would say, well, I really don't know exactly what quality is. I know it when I see it. Some people they say, well, I need to see it first in order to define what quality it is. But remember why we should define quality. How will you judge the quality of a restaurant, for example? Everyone has a different definition for quality. As I mentioned, some people they will say, I want to, touch it in order to see if this is a good quality product or not. I need to see it. And sometimes, we as a human, we look into the buying from online stores. Sometimes it's really hard to buy these things because you don't know what the quality is. So you rely based on different other factors, such as reviews on these online stores. And you will see, okay, what is the review? Are they honest in product description? And you make your decision based on this, or you maybe make your decision based on a friend who bought from that online store and they recommended that for you. So it is sometimes complicated to define quality. And for example, look into how would you define quality for the restaurant? Is it based on the taste of the food? Well, if it tastes of the food but takes you hours and hours to get the food, is that still an acceptable quality? So we need to know exactly how we would define the quality. Performance to the standards, performance to the standard expected by the customer. This is how Fred Smith, the CEO of FedEx or Federal Express, define quality. Performance to the standard expected by who? By the customers. Let's take a look into the GSA definition. Meeting the customer's need the first time and every time. Wow, I like that. I like that. Meeting the customer need the first time and every time. DoD, Department of Defense, defined quality as doing the right thing right the first time, always striving for improvement. and always satisfying the customer. Oh, look at that. Look at this definition. Doing the right thing right the first time. Don't say, okay, well, let me do it just quickly and see if this is going to work or not. Just do it the right way the first time. And always look for improvement. Strive to customer. Strive to improve your process. Strive to improve your performance. And then keep that in mind that you need, that's the final goal, to satisfy customers. Let's take a look into the definition from the ASQ, the American Society for Quality. Quality is a subjective term, which each person has his or her own definition. We understand that. But let's take a look into the technical usage of the definition. Quality can have two meanings. One, the characteristic of a product or service that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. Is the product or the service satisfy the stated need or implied? Like, number two, product or service free of defects. So now we have a better understanding on how to define quality from different perspective. We know there are several components for defining quality, such as customers, such as long-term, such as free of defects, satisfying the implied needs or stated needs, and many others definitions. But there, at least now we're shaping the definition of quality in our minds. And this is a good start to be a quality professional, is how to define quality, whether technical, whether based on manufacturing sector, based on the service, based on the healthcare, etc. Let's hear from the experts in quality. Let's see how they defined quality. Dr. Deming, is one of the pioneers in quality. He initiated, he established the Deming cycle: plan, do, check, act, analyze, or what we call the PDCA. He defined quality as a non-faulty systems. Another expert in quality, Joran, which we will learn more about Joran and Deming and all of these pioneers in quality in more details. Dr. Joran said quality is fitness for use. Are you able to use it? How satisfied when you use it? Crosby is another pioneer in quality. Define quality as conformance to require. Conformance to require. I need something. Does this product or service fit my needs? All right, here is a good definition from Feigenbaum. Dr. Feigenbaum, also another pioneer, defined quality, and this is where I love it because it has a more holistic, broader perspective of quality. Quality is a customer determination. So number one is customer determination, and how this is determined based on the actual experience with a product or service. And this customer experience measured against what? Against his or her requirements. And this always representing a moving target in a competitive market. Think about the companies. If they continue to do whatever they're doing since long time ago, they're not going to compete in the market. They have to keep monitoring the market, understanding the needs, and be innovative. We need to impress the customer. We need them to be excited about our products. So it is a moving target. There's nothing called done. I'm done with quality. It's a moving target, which we need these moving targets to distinguish us from other competitors. Speaking now, we're about done with the quality definitions. Now let's talk about the process. When we talk about quality, we have to think about the process that we need to monitor. But before we do monitor, let's define the basic of process. What is a process? A process consists of three phases: input, value added activities, and output. Input, value added activities, and output. In the input, we look into raw material. Think about building a table. What you need to do, you need some wood, nails, some tools such as hammer, saws, paint. You bring these raw material, you put them together. This is where the value added activity. You bought the material, the raw material, and now you start building these. This is where the value added activities. And now the conclusion would be an outcome, finishing a table. So if you look into the process as a line, which is demonstrated in this chart, you will see as input, process, and output. An important feature for a process, especially for quality, is the loop that we have here, the feedback. We need to keep an eye on the process. We mentioned that quality is a moving target. We have to keep an eye on the process, and we need to look into areas to improve the process. How we can improve the process. Monitor, control, and adjust the process based on the feedback. Look into what the good things that you did in the process. What's the bad thing in the process? Do you have a variation that take the process away from your control limits, from your tolerances? If yes, remove these variations by looking into the causes of these variations. And then you will reach to perfection, a 0 defects, or 3.4 at least defects per million as a Six Sigma goal. So process improvement is part of quality. In order to implement the quality, we have to be able to define the process. What's the input? What's the value added? And what's the output going to be? And by monitoring these, doing some time studies, observation for the process, feedback from customers, feedback from the employees that we have, frontliners, these people who are on the line and doing the job. There are so many channels to receive a feedback. Based on these feedback, you adjust the process to reach to a perfection. I did briefly talk about variation, and variation is present in any nature process. No two products are exactly the same, alike. A simple thing that I want you to look when you go to a grocery store, go look into the gallons of milk. You will see some of these gallons are filled all the way to the top, to the cap, and some of them are, half inch below the cap. And why is that? Think about it. This is a variation. This is called variation. Looking to bring two similar products and find out the characteristic. If you measure the length, you for sure you could find some variation. So variation is existed in any natural process. For example, in manufacturing, variation is often defined or identified as a difference between the specified target and the actual part dimensions. The difference between the CAD drawing and the actual product itself. What's the difference between the CAD drawing, the length of the part on a plan, blueprint, as you know, and once you produce this product, go measure it and see if the dimensions are exactly the same or not. I'm sure you will find there could be some differences. In service industries, how we define variation in the service industry. Variation may be the difference between the type of service received and the type of service expected. You go to a restaurant, you go to McDonald's, fast food, you expect your food to be ready within 5 minutes. It took them 15 minutes to serve your food for some reason. And this is variation. And we should take a look into the causes of these variations. And as a quality expert, you're responsible to remove these variations. You are responsible to suggest some improvement. How we could remove variations. I did mention in the previous slide some of the tools, such as monitor the process, look at it, observation for the process, time studies, some statistical tools here. Statistical process control can be used to remove variation from the process. We will learn about the process control charts, and this is where you will learn about statistics. And once you have some data, facts, you will be able to determine why differences exist between similar products or services. And then you will work with your team to remove the causes of these variation or these differences. Removing variation will enable any company to more constantly provide high quality product or service. Your goal as a quality professional is to remove any variation, because we need to have a consistency in the process. How we do that? Build some standards. Build some standards that will help you to remove variation. And we'll talk about lean standards and the 5S and other tools as well that will help you to build these standards to remove variations. One of the things that we look into when we improve process, we look into specifications. And specifications is basically the feature that is stated for a product, that is a characteristic for a product or service. And these basically the goals, the target values, the target value that one. These specification is the translation of a customer needs, requirements and expectation into specification. And this is really important when we take the QFD, the quality function deployment, where you need to translate customer needs into specification. Some customer will say, we need a light laptop, lightweight laptop. What does that mean? How many pounds should be the light laptop? Some people, they will say, I need a fast car. What is the fast to you and to your customers? So you need to put it in a number so you could implement it in your plan. In service industry, specification may take the form of descriptions of the types of service that are expected to be performed. When I go to a restaurant, I'm expecting to see a napkin on the table. If you don't see napkins, that may be not a good quality for you. And maybe this will take you away from achieving the high quality in the service industry. In manufacturing, specification may be given as a nominal target dimensions. They're giving you as a CAD drawings. And you take the CAD drawing and you build it based on these drawings. And you will see on a CAD drawing some of the tolerances limits. Here's a CAD drawing with the tolerances limits. Tolerances limits show the permissible changes in the dimensions. How many rooms or variation I have. Tolerances, is it 0.1 milli, or how is it good to keep the process within control? With that said, I'm gonna stop the video right here, and we will be talking about some important the evolution of quality and some of the aspects of quality that will take you from the basics of quality, such as inspections, and moving into the more advanced concepts in quality, such as starting with inspection and ended up with, now we're talking about Six Sigma and 3.4 defects per million parts. We'll talk about that in the next video, but as a review for this video, we talked about the quality definitions. We took some opinions from the pioneers in quality, how they define quality, and we talked about some factors that impact quality. In the last part of this video, we talked about variations and how we could remove these variations from the process. And we talked about why this is important, why we need to remove variation from any process. With that said, thank you, and I will see you on the second video about evaluation, evolution of quality.